All right, let's be honest. Have you ever walked away from a job offer and thought, maybe I could have gotten a bit more?
I think we've all been there.
Especially right in sales. Like, negotiation's kind of our thing, you know?
You'd think we'd be experts at it.
Yeah, exactly. So today, we're going to dive deep into this.
Let it.
We've got this great piece from the sales experts, how to negotiate the best job offer. It's all about making sure you lock in the best possible deal when you're moving up in your career.
And the thing is, this isn't just about, like, squeezing out a few extra bucks, right? It's about approaching the whole thing strategically, like you would any sales process.
Totally. And they hit on that right away with the preparation part.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. You wouldn't walk into a client meeting without knowing your stuff.
Nope.
Same goes for this. Know what you're worth, check out what similar roles are paying, even get a sense of the company's finances. If you can, it's all valuable intel.
And they even give us some tools for that, right? Like websites and stuff.
Yeah. Glassdoor, PayScale, those are great starting points, but don't just take the numbers at face value.
Oh?
Let's say you're going for a sales director position. Don't just look at the average for that title. See how experience or the size of the company changes things. And think about what makes you stand out, you know?
Right, your unique stuff.
Exactly. What have you achieved that might justify asking for even more? It's classic sales. Know the market, AD, your unique selling points.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting to me. They talk about looking beyond the base salary. I'll admit, I get kind of fixated on that number sometimes.
It's easy to do, but you're leaving so much on the table if you do that. Bonuses, stock options.
Oh, yeah.
Even things like extra vacation time or a flexible schedule, those can make a huge difference in your overall compensation and how happy you are in the long run.
That's so true. And I hadn't even thought about how this applies to me as a sales leader.
Absolutely. If you're the one hiring, are your offers competitive enough to attract top talent? Are you using these non-salary perks strategically? Good point. Because nowadays, the best offer isn't always about the biggest paycheck.
Okay, now this one kind of threw me for a loop. The sales experts say you should never accept the first offer. Isn't that a little bold?
It might seem that way at first. But in sales, negotiation is expected. It's part of the dance. If you don't even try, it sends the wrong signal.
So it's not about being greedy. It's about, like, knowing the rules of the game.
Exactly. And timing matters, too. Once you get that offer, but before you accept, that's your window. Like that point in a sales cycle when you've made a great pitch, the client's interested but hasn't signed yet.
I feel you.
That's when you have the leverage. And just like in sales, it's not about being, adversarial.
Right.
You want a win-win, something that's good for both sides.
Yeah, for sure. The sales experts call this framing the negotiation as mutually beneficial. I like that, but how do you actually do that? I mean, any examples come to mind?
Definitely. Let's say you're aiming for a higher salary than what they offered. Instead of just saying, give me more, you connect it to how you're going to help them.
Right.
You could say something like, look, I consistently exceeded quota by 15% at my last job. I'm confident I can bring that same energy here and smash your revenue target.
I see. So you're showing them the return on investment. It's just like a sales pitch.
Exactly. It's not just a demand, it's about the value you bring. And speaking of value, the sales experts also say, you got to be ready to walk away if the offer isn't right.
Ooh, okay. See, this is the part that makes me nervous.
I get it. It feels risky, especially if you really want the job.
Yeah.
But think about it from a sales perspective.
Yeah.
We all have our walkaway points, right? Those deal breakers where it's just better to move on. Your career's the same way. Know what you're worth and be willing to walk if they're not meeting you there.
It's like the power is with whoever cares less.
Right.
Well, it's not about not caring. It's about knowing your non-negotiables, what really matters to you in a role. And that brings us to another point. Those non-monetary wins. Oh yeah, the stuff that isn't about the dollar amount.
Exactly. More vacation time, maybe working remotely, opportunities to learn and grow.
Those could be huge.
Especially for top performers. And if you're leading a team offering these perks, it's a smart way to attract and keep great people.
So it's like those added value propositions we use for clients.
You got it. Same principles, different context. It's about making it a no-brainer for them to say yes.
Wow, this is really shifting my thinking about job offers.
That's the power of a sales mindset. It's not about tricks. It's about strategy, preparation, and being able to articulate your value.
Now, let's talk about that moment when the offer comes in, and it's not what you were hoping for. Like, how do you handle that counter-offer conversation? Got any tips?
Absolutely. First, always start with gratitude. Thank them for the offer, reiterate how excited you are about the role. Then lay out your counter. Be clear, calm, and this is crucial, be specific.
Right, right. The sales experts were big on being specific. What does that look like in action?
So instead of just saying, I want more or that's not enough, back it up. Hey, based on my research, similar roles with my experience are paying between X and Y. Given my track record of, and then you list some concrete achievements, I think Z would be a better reflection of the value I bring.
See? Yeah, that's great. You're not just demanding, you're giving them context, showing you've done your homework, like going into that client meeting fully prepared.
Exactly. And remember, it's not always just about salary. Think about the whole package. Maybe the base is firm, but there's wiggle room on vacation time, a signing bonus, professional development.
So having your priorities straight, but being flexible too. Finding that win-win.
Exactly. And if after some back and forth you're not getting there, that's when you got to be prepared to walk away. Hard as it might be.
That's where that self-worth piece comes in, knowing you have other options.
And remember, one no doesn't mean it's over. It just means this specific opportunity wasn't the right fit. Something even better might be out there.
Love that perspective. Easy to get down on yourself, but it's about the long game.
This whole chat has been eye-opening. What really hits home for me is how this all goes beyond just job offers.
You mentioned that earlier, how it applies to us as sales leaders in other areas. What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Negotiation, it's everywhere in sales. We negotiate deals with clients, resources within our companies, even deadlines and expectations with our teams. The same principles apply. Being prepared, knowing your worth, framing it as beneficial for everyone involved.
Oh, you're right. It's like a master skill,
Yeah.
applicable in so many situations.
Exactly. And that's why getting good at negotiation is so valuable. It's not just about a better job offer. It's about being a more effective, confident leader overall.
This has been incredibly helpful. New tools from my belt, not just for my career, but for leading my team and hitting those sales targets.
And remember, we're just scratching the surface here. The sales experts go into even more detail. They've got 12 specific rules for successful negotiation. Definitely worth a read.
Adding it to my list.
Yep.
And for everyone listening, we'll link to the full article in the show notes.
Great idea. Tons of practical tips and real-world examples you can use right away.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into negotiation, remember, it's not about winning or losing. It's about finding those solutions that create value for everyone involved. Until next time.
Happy selling.
It's like, whether it's that promotion, building your sales team, or just, everyday deals,
Yeah.
getting comfy with negotiation, it's key for sales success at any level, really.
Couldn't agree more. It's not about being pushy or playing games. It's about communication, being strategic, finding those solutions that work for everyone.
And on that note, the sales experts had this one last point that I think is super important, especially in sales where things move fast.
Let me guess, getting it all in writing.
You nailed it. It's like that final handshake, right? Making those verbal agreements official.
Absolutely. Think of it like closing a big deal. You wouldn't let the client walk away without a signed contract, spelling everything out.
Totally. It's easy to get swept up in the moment and forget those details.
Exactly. And that's where having that written agreement, whether it's a formal job offer, a client proposal, even an internal agreement, it can prevent so many headaches down the line.
Makes everyone accountable.
Exactly. You know what they say, verbal agreements are worth the paper they're written on.
So true.
Having those details documented, it clarifies expectations and gives you something to refer back to if there are ever any questions or, disagreements.
This has been awesome. I feel like I've got a whole new outlook on negotiation, not just in my career, but just in life.
Glad to hear it. I hope everyone listening feels more confident and ready to tackle their next negotiation, big or small.
And for those who want to go even deeper, we highly recommend checking out the full article from the sales experts, How to Negotiate the Best Job Offer. Links in the show notes.
It's packed with practical advice and real-world examples, super useful stuff.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive into negotiation, remember, it's not about winning or losing. It's about those win-win solutions that help everyone succeed. Until next time.
Happy selling.